Alright, so we'll be looking for a game to quickly cast. I don't know why it's showing Jibs vs Venny. Let's pop the pause screen on. Sorry guys, this is set up for the tournament this afternoon. So there's going to be a few small issues just where hotkeys aren't set up quite right. Okay, so it looks like we're going to be streaming the next game, Bowen vs Vizixan. How many people do we actually have watching at the moment? Oh, I've actually got 80 people watching, that's pretty cool. 3M Tactics from TZK there in the chat. Alright, so it is going to be Owen vs Vizixan Game 2 here. This is going to be looking at Owen's elimination from this week's tournament. Scarily enough. So, in the top right, red trunks. It is going to be Owen. And down in the bottom left, one game up in this best of 3 series, it is going to be Vizixan. Just going to pop the overlay on because I've probably got that wrong, knowing me. Alright, so Lava Bridge is going to be a significantly bigger map here, so it's going to be quite hard. APM tab apparently. It's just spamming that APM. So it's going to be quite hard to go for Rack's first build too effectively here because of these high ground, the narrow chokes, and the long rush distance. So we are going to see 6 expand out of Owen already here. And I'm expecting to see something pretty similar out of Vizixan. Yeah, there we go. So Vizixan just throwing down zone 6 expand. Interesting thing to note actually, it's not optimal in this game to go for an expand straight off the bat. It is actually best to wait a little while so you get as many workers as you possibly can. So it's shorthanded 6 expand in this game, where you expand at 6 supply, so essentially 6 workers effectively. And that is actually the optimal way to expand. If you're going for a first expand anyway. So workers are just going to meet each other in the middle of the map here, and they're just going to confirm that both players have gone for 6 expand. And the interesting thing is going to be what the 6 expand is followed up with. When they see each other 6 expand, they'll probably choose to skip the tower. You don't need to invest 200 gold if your opponent is going for the same thing, unless you want to go for greedy forge play behind it, which is risky. If your opponent's on 2 bases, they can very easily get a lot of units out. So both players are just going to confirm now. They're going to see what the opponent's got. Owen will actually spot that Vizixan's expansion is slower, and he is going to poke and harass him a bit to slow it down even further. But that's not going to be a huge difference at the moment. Vizixan just checking out Owen's base. And hopefully shortly we should see, yeah, you can see there's about 30 minerals in it. 30 minerals? 30 gold. I play StarCraft too much. So yeah, what the interesting thing is going to be is what it's followed up with. I would expect a barracks follow-up from both players. It generally tends to be the more standard and safe play, simply because you get your units out, you get map vision, and you can actually possibly poke your opponent back. So we are going to see how straight out of Owen now. So that is going to be a barracks follow-up. Nothing yet out of Vizixan. Oh, there we go. There's the house. I was going to say he was cutting it a bit risky there. So both players just going for the same build at the moment. In the background I can hear StarCraft players screaming the game's too slow. even though that in StarCraft it's about when you'd have your houses expansions and things going down. So now it's going to be interesting to see if Owen tries to go for anything slightly risky this time. He is a game down, so he may try and pull out something slightly unorthodox. Maybe trying to double guess what his opponent's doing to try and claim himself a game. So Owen's barracks is going to start, and then we'll probably see soldier out of him again. Now there is something interesting for anyone watching who is going to be playing against either of these players later. Remember, when you're studying for a match against your opponent, pay attention to what they like to open with, particularly their first barracks units. Those first barracks units, if they deviate from it, obviously indicate something, but also you can tend to get away with more stuff if you know whether they're going for rifleman or soldier, simply because there's different constraints on you from how those play out. So it's going to be a really similar build here from both players. You can see there's only about 80 gold between them at the moment. Owen now building up about 200 gold, so I'm not sure if he wants to go into a second Rax, or if he's going to go into a Rax 4 with Rax build. And he is sending out, oh, sorry, slight glitch there. He's going to go for the second Rax now. Vizix Fan's own barracks is nearly done, and he has about 400 gold floating. Looks like he might be going to go take a cheeky third base here. That'll be interesting. Yep, and he's stopped at the third. Are we going to see? Yeah, there we go. So we see a very, very quick third from Vizix Fan there. That's going to put him in a very risky position, but it may pay off. I think that's actually the earliest third base I've ever seen in a tournament match. Alright, so Owen's Rifleman's out now. And it is going to be slightly ahead of Vizix Fan's, but not enough to make a difference. Owen, interestingly though, is going for fort behind this. Now this could just be to defend this main area, to keep himself safe from any counter pressure, from anything like harassment. But it could be quite interesting if he's going for dragons. Owen actually is one of the few players who does go dragons in a tournament match. We saw him take a game against Frost in the last monthly tournament. I think he took 2-0 in that set, and one of those was, I think both those were actually where he went dragons. One was a wall-in build and one was a late game dragon build. So that will be quite exciting. It's nice to see those featured a bit more in tournament play. We're going to get a second Rax now out from Vizix Fan. Third Rax actually from Vizix Fan. So we'll be able to put more production out than Owen. And I'm actually floating nearly 400 gold, so I don't know where that's going to be going. Ah, okay, I understand now. He is going to be going for dragons. That is the telltale sign. If your opponent skips out on making a lot of buildings, and you can see he's just gone for one barracks, normally what that's indicative of, if he's got a fort, is the fort's not going to be for defense. That much gold stacking up. There we go. You see he's spent 500. We're going to see where that's going down. And there we go. There is the first dragon's lair. Not sure where the rest of the... Oh, I guess the rest of the gold went into a house. We did have about 500 stacked up. So Vizix Fan has actually got away with this base so far. You can see Owen doesn't really know much about what's going on. And neither does Vizix Fan at the moment. He doesn't know these dragons are coming. And Owen just poking around on the map. He does actually have the superior... He does have the superior army. So... And Vizix Fan actually now going for 2 forges behind this. He'll really need those if he wants to start engaging dragons. Simply because you're going to need upgraded riflemen to contest dragons. especially with the fact that I think they received a small AoE buff. And so they actually do pretty well against large groups of units now. I'm possibly over-investing on 2 base into dragons. You can only really support 2 dragons nests, and he also has 2 barracks. So I'm going to want to see a 3rd base out of him now. He's going to move out on the map. Now interestingly, Vizixfan has actually chosen the more exposed base here, and the one slightly closer to his opponent. You can see, Owen's going to go check. This is where pretty much everyone else is going to chuck their 3rd base down, just because it's so much more defensible with the choke here, with being close to your main. So Owen's going to suspect that his opponent's not got a 3rd. And that is going to be... oh, he is going to come down the right hand side here. He's in a very risky position though. He doesn't want to engage like that, because Vizixfan is getting +1 now, and Owen's actually going to take a lot of damage. He's probably going to lose the odd unit or 2 at the front here, which is not what you want. Vizixfan's got to be thinking to himself, that's a very small army to poke out with. There's a few units at home, but you don't want to risk that much on the map if you're not going for harassment. And the dragons do start to pile up now at Owen's base. Owen throws down a tower now, but this is possibly too late. Vizixfan is going to realise that there's really not much here to defend at Owen's main base. He's got a fort, which is nice, but not at the front. Soldiers start to engage on the front line here, and Owen actually missed microing quite a bit there. And he's also got a soldier stuck in the back. He's not building this tower, and Vizixfan's going to start putting a lot of pressure on this front base here. Soldiers are probably going to trade, but Vizixfan does have more rifles. He might get pushed back though, just because a nice spawn wave did pop out there. Well, I should say production cycle. Did pop out there for Owen. And Owen has a lot of riflemen now, but that is another worker pick for Vizixfan. Vizixfan actually now 28 to 19. He's going to keep trading with these riflemen here. He knows something's up. I don't think he's seen anything yet though. And now he is. Now he's going to see the dragon come roaring over the hills. This is only a small force of riflemen. Not sure where that dragon attacked to. I think he checked the racks. And he's going to see the dragon starting to land damage now. He doesn't have enough units to really contest this. You can see the dragon has quite a small AoE. It's only hitting 1 unit. But there's no way Vizixfan can really contest this. He's going to get absolutely pushed back now. Interesting thing to note, dragons are one of the only units in the game, well, the only unit in the game, with natural regeneration. But it is very slow. So as much as he can heal up from all these shots, he can't really take big engagements on dragons, not without heal mages. Vizixfan's starting to build up a few units back at home. And Vizixfan has actually left this right hand side base unattended, so this dragon could go and do a lot of damage. He really needs to get a tower on that, or at least a fort. Normally you can skip it if you've got map control. Oh, and Vizixfan's been pulled out of position with these dragons. You can see, look at that AoE just sitting on the workers there. Owen does manage to pull, Vizixfan does manage to pull these away now, and they're not going to take the AoE damage. He's got a lot of riflemen now, and they are on +1 attack, so they are going to be able to push these 2 dragons away. But they're going to be pulled back and forth out of position, because Owen can just sit in this area of tree line here, and just harass to his heart's content. I'm really surprised he's not going for this 3rd base. Does he not know it's here? He's got to know it's here. He doesn't. Surely he knows. He's got to know about this 3rd base by now. He sees the workers, and he's going to come back into harass. Vizixfan starts to throw down a tower. Vizixfan's assuming he's going into the main, but Owen's actually going to be here on the natural, and these dragons are just going to allow him to do such big damage because Vizixfan just isn't in position. This tower's not going to go up, and these workers are going to take yet more damage, and he's dropped down about 3 workers here, 4 workers. 3rd dragon comes in to meet up,